सचिवालय प्रशिक्षण एवं पूर्व प्रबंध संस्थान में आज ये पुस्तकालय में प्रथम बार हम लोग ऑथर स्टॉक ऑर्गेनाइज कर रहे हैं और मैं आप सभी को इंट्रोड्यूस करवाना चाहूँगा डॉक्टर असलम वाली जी से, जो कि अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी में असिस्टेंट प्रोफेसर हैं और काफ़ी लिटरेरी वर्क करते रहते हैं। सर ने काफ़ी रिसर्च आर्टिकल्स भी लिखे हैं और अभी रिसेंटली 2023 में सर की ये बुक पब्लिश हुई है। मैं सबको दिखाना चाहता हूँ, द डॉन ऑफ पोस्ट ह्यूमन वर्ल्ड ऑर्डर। तो आज अचानक सर से मुलाकात हो गई तो मैंने रिक्वेस्ट किया शॉर्ट नोटिस पे कि सर आइए लाइब्रेरी में, हम ऑथर स्टॉक करते हैं। तो बैठिए। तो सर स्टार्ट। थैंक यू सर।
सबसे पहले तो डॉक्टर असलम आपको बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इस शॉर्ट नोटिस पे इस प्रोग्राम में आने के लिए और इस कार्यक्रम को अटेंड करने के लिए।
मैं आपका तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार हूं कि आपने मुझे मौका दिया और sometimes things are planned by Almighty God, I think. Because currently I'm doing one program DTS. So in that context, I came to the library and suddenly I get a look on my book. So I would like to say thank you very much, sir. You organized this event at such a short notice. And,
तो सर शुरू करते हैं। सबसे पहले मैं चाहूंगा कि आप हमारे रीडर्स को अपने बारे में थोड़ा सा बताएं।
I am from Arjun University. I have been teaching public administration there since 2015. And before joining University, I had worked in College of Business Administration, University of Higher Saudi Arabia. And one very interesting thing in my career is that I have been associated with training division since 2009. My first posting in DOPT training division was as a consultant to DFID project capacity building for poverty reduction. There I came in contact with learned people like Ajay Sani as well as Pandey sir and Sandeep Mukherjee, Arvind Pokhriya. All of them were very learned people and every time they were recommending certain books. So we were also having exchange of ideas, which basically we should read. So from that very point, I basically developed an interest in exploring, you can say, new dimensions of the discipline of public administration. But unfortunately, that work could not be completed here. That's why, due to certain reasons, I went to Saudi Arabia. But sometimes the things are planned by Almighty God, as I told you. So I returned back in 2015 as an assistant professor of public administration, and I joined Alicante Muslim University. So then I started researching on all these topics. Then during COVID-19 pandemic, I personally felt that there is a need to explore what is happening around us. And I realized that our students are highly you can say they are living in ignorance, they are not having any kind of direction. And specifically, we Asians are becoming consumers for the Western ideas. And we are consuming their ideas, we are just playing their ideas, we are propagating their ideas. So I decided, there shall be one response from East to West. So my book basically is a response from East to West, or it is an Indian response to the Western people. If we know him, we know your strategy, what actually you are doing, and we know your basically bigger plans. We can decode you, and we can also develop a strategy so that successfully we can counter. And India has been recognized as a land for, you can say, accepting people, a land of, you can say, diversified people, as well as very different cultures we are having here. And it has been regarded as a land of peace. And India has been guiding the world since time immemorial by its philosophy, by its ideology. So that's why I thought it's a right time in the 21st century that we should decode them and we should tell them that we know and we can also move on the path of.
Thank you, sir. Very interesting title, sir. The Dawn of Post-Human World Order. इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए सर.
So basically, as I told you, when all of us were in the COVID pandemic era, so everybody was hopeless and we were basically having a very bleak into the future, and everybody was expecting that it is the end of mankind. And I think we were also talking about the Black Death and many natural catastrophes which have engulfed various civilizations like civilization of Atlantis, Babylonian civilization, Indus civilization, and even we can talk about Harappan civilization, Akkadian civilization, Sumerian civilization. So basically, I thought the developments which are happening nowadays and the purpose for which this COVID-19 has been caused, I will need to go through it. Is it a natural phenomenon or is it a man-made phenomenon? And how is it going to impact the human beings? And what will be the future world of? And that's why I thought I should work on a very different dimension. And suddenly I thought I think it's an end of human era. The new era, the new world order which is coming into existence, it will be predominated by artificial intelligence, biotechnology, or cybernetic organisms. So that's why I decided it is the morning of that particular world order which is coming before us very soon.
तो सर आपके साथ इस बुक में को ऑथर हैं प्रोफेसर अकबर जोसेफ अर्जुन सैयद. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग नेम सर. प्रोफेसर सर साहब के बारे में कुछ बताइए.
He asked a very interesting question because everybody asked about him. Specifically, his name is very catchy, and he's very learned professor in Department of English. And but I will tell you the story of his name. Once I was having interaction with his father, how this name came into existence and what factors were responsible for giving this name. Because when I joined the Muslim University, everybody was asking me, is he Muslim? Is he Hindu? Is he Christian? Is he Jew? Who is he? So I was saying he's a perfect example of India. So then his father told me a very interesting story. He has been basically brought up and nurtured in St. Joseph as well as Syed. His father was working in St. Joseph, and the day he born, it was the day of holiday, all hospitals were closed, so he took birth in that particular college premise, St. Joseph. So his father was having one of his very good friend, and he said, Akbar has come. Because Akbar the Great, all of us are aware about his story, how he tried to basically establish a very productive environment for India as a nation. So he said Akbar has come. So suddenly the father of that school said, oh man, he born in St. Joseph school. So Joseph should be his name. So his father said, okay, his name is Akbar Joseph. But there was one non-Muslim friend of his father. He said, oh, Tahir Sahab, you have given a very, you can say, Muslim hero name to your son, as well as the Christian or the Jewish hero name to your son. What about Indian hero? Arjuna is a very good hero in Indian culture. So he said, okay, his name is Akbar Joseph Arjun. But when his grandmother said, oh, it is his name, very Syed, my son is Syed. So that's why he became Akbar Joseph Arjun Syed.
So very interesting story about his name. आपने काफी रिसर्च किया इस बुक के बारे में. मैंने थोड़ा सा, अभी पूरी बुक तो नहीं पढ़ी है, बट थोड़ा बहुत देखा मैंने. काफी रेफरेंसेस हैं रिसर्च के. तो what kind of research did you undertake?
Basically, I went for the descriptive analysis, historical analysis for writing this particular book. And for me, the source of inspiration was one of Indian scholar. I will not take his name because of certain reasons. And it is a revised version basically. Previously, I have acknowledged him in the acknowledgement, but he was having some kind of objections. My name should not be highlighted in the acknowledgement, so I removed his name. He is a great Indian philosopher, thinker, as well as a teacher. He is actually my mentor. But other than him, you can say there is one thinker, Francis Fukuyama, a very great political philosopher. He wrote one book which is very famous. The title of the book was Our Post-Human Future. Post-Human Future, Consequences of Biotechnological Revolution. That book came in 2002. When I read that book in 2002, I was not able to understand it. Because it's a very difficult book, it was seeming that it is a very philosophical idea, it is not a very real idea. How we can go for getting the babies in test tube babies, or how this cloning is going to dominate our world. Recently, we must be aware about one Western philosopher thinker. He's a very well-known philosopher or writer. He has written three important books: *Sapiens*, Yuval Noah Harari, as well as Homo Deus. Then 21 Lessons for 21st Century. So when I was reading them, so I wrote this. Basically, they write in such a style, nobody can decode their message, what kind of message they want to communicate. So I tried basically to decode them on the basis of scriptures. Basically, they are telling us one story. Other story is not being told us. So in this book, I have tried to analyze the modern developments with the reference of scriptures, whether they are Indian scriptures, whether they are Muslim scriptures, whether they are Jewish scriptures, whether they are Christian scriptures. Whatever story they are telling us, is it a reality, or we can have different aspects of reality? So from that, I got an inspiration for writing that book, and it came into existence.
And what were your challenges?
Oh, it was huge, but I would like to pay thanks to my wife, my family, who supported me. The challenges were enormous, but when you have a will, there is always a way. So I don't know. Sometimes I feel I will recall one couplet of Mirza Ghalib in response to your question. Mirza Ghalib rightly said, "आते हैं गैब से मज़ामी ख्याल में, गालिब सईर खां मनवाए सरोश है." So I think it is not my work. Somebody was guiding me, and I was just writing it.
So your first chapter in the book, having very catchy title, "Conquering Death." So tell us about that title.
Yes, it's a very interesting title. Basically, all the titles are very interesting. We will go through the titles of the chapters. You will find that I have devoted first chapter to conquering death. Basically, what is happening? The humankind are having a desire to attain immortality. And even in Indian literature, we find that there are few personalities who are immortals, like Hanuman is immortal, Ashwatthama is immortal, Gilgamesh, most of you would be aware. So Gilgamesh also started a journey to conquer death. So we are having a desire. But the Western world nowadays is really trying very hard to conquer death. So my idea of the book is that why does it happen that civilization collapse? So I made a thesis that if we are trying to achieve the immortality, or if we are trying to achieve domination over heavens, if we are trying to control the nature, the earth, like we are trying nowadays, there is no, you can say, natural rainfall, there is no natural snowfall, there is no natural weather, we are having a rate of climate change. So in actuality, human beings are controlling the planet. we are having a desire to go to, we can say, Mars. We are having a desire to go to exoplanets so that we can control them. And we are also having a desire to conquer death, because without conquering death, all these objectives cannot be achieved. So all these topics are interrelated. So conquering death basically is exploring the advancement of Western men in their efforts of conquering death. Up to what extent they have achieved it, and what kind of, we can say, problems they are, we can say, facing, and are they really going to conquer death or not? And if they will achieve it, are they going to become God or God-like? So are they going to achieve immortality? Because without immortality, they cannot go for subjugating heavens. So that's why I basically connected first topic with the second topic of my book.
Yes. So, with this book, what is your target audience, sir, and what do you expect? What does readers should expect from your book?
Basically, I have written this book for young thinking mind, and it is not a book to be read by, to be very honest, with people who are having very little knowledge. It is a highly interdisciplinary book, and that's why those whosoever is having a thinking mind go through it. Specifically, policymakers should go through it, and that's why I gave this book to various administrators. Like there is one Joint Secretary, Dr. Kumar. So I gave few copies to him, and he also shared that book with various, you can say, bureaucrats. And I think he was the first person who gave me a very complete review of my book. He called me, he talked with me for about 58 minutes, and he highlighted each and every aspect, the positive as well as negative aspect of my book. So that experience was very good. Moreover, he highlighted, okay, Aslam, you are talking about the example from Hindu Shastras, because in Hindu Shastras also death is basically viewed as a very, or it is viewed in a very positive manner. But in Western world, death is viewed basically in a very negative manner. For us, death is a blessing. We basically think that, okay, we are going to meet in the infinite. We are going to achieve the, you can say, our ultimate goal. Ultimate goal is that we are going to be a part of the ultimate source of energy from where we came. And we are also observing that it is not the end of life. Life begins after that. So this idea.
Yeah. So my next question is, share some your writing journey. From where did it start?
Basically, there was one of my students, Abhinav. So he was always asking very critical questions during the class discussions. So I thought I should write a detailed book, because everything you cannot discuss in class. So I thought, there are young people who are having so many questions in their mind, and their queries should be answered. So I wrote that book for inquisitive minds who can go through it. But later on, I was having so many writers block. As you know, when you are starting your journey, it is very difficult. Sometimes there were some issues in the family. Sometimes my health was not supporting me, because I'm also a patient of spondylolisthesis. But as I told you, there was some divine power which was compelling me to complete it, and that's why it came in.
Is there other projects that you are working on?
Yes, nowadays I'm basically thinking of working on artificial intelligence, because I personally believe that it is the only invention which will be the last invention of mankind, and which I have hinted in my book. If you will go to the last chapter, I am ending that book on the note of the emergence of artificial intelligence and how artificial intelligence is going to change the whole world order. And in the end, I have given one couplet of Akbar कि वक्त फुर्सत है कहाँ, काम अभी बाकी है, नूर तौहीद का एतमाम अभी बाकी है. So I personally believe that in the light of Vishnu Puran, I would like to say, in Vishnu Puran we are also having an example कि in Kali Yuga we are going to have Kalki, and then Kalki Avatar will come. So for me, Kalki is this artificial intelligence, or it is a combination of some type of, you can say, cybernetic organism, because the Western thinkers have realized, or the scientists have realized, that it is not only the artificial intelligence, we are need to have combination of technologies, fusion of technologies. That's why if you will go through the subtitle of the book, it is mankind in the era of infotech, biotech and nanotech. So nanotech is going to revolutionize it. And I think that Kalki is basically coming. And in Muslims, we are having a concept of Dajjal is going to come. And in Christianity, we are having concept of Antichrist is going to come. So I think the time has come when these things are going to happen, and we should be ready as mankind to welcome the Kalki Avatar, so that, or like you say, the Vishnu Avatar, or the last messenger which will be sent by God to counter the evil. Otherwise, mankind is not going to survive. This book is also making an argument: if we are not going to follow proper strategies, then West is going to transform us into subhumans. Even if we are going to have a look around us, 90% population has already been transformed into subhumans. We are only thinking from our belly, and we are not having, you can say, commitment to our nation, commitment to other, you can say, fellow beings. We have observed during the COVID-19, and I think the COVID-19 basically was also giving a very good lesson to us. COVID-19 basically changed or altered our behavior. We are not relying upon human beings nowadays, we are relying upon robotics. It means in near future we are going to have assistants in our homes who will be robotics, not human beings, because we are afraid of human beings. This idea has been basically inculcated in our, you can say, brain. Human beings, human beings are the virus, they are spreading virus. So I think these strategies are not going to work, but their ultimate job is to reduce specifically the developing countries people into subhumans, so that they can sustain their rule over the world.
Well said, sir. Doctors, what would you like to advise to the aspiring authors?
It's a very tough job, to be very honest, but I will just ask them to do hard work, to read as much as possible, to develop the reading habit, because this advancement of artificial intelligence is going to reduce your reading ability. Even you will observe that nowadays we are losing our reading capability, understanding capability. We are more relying upon our mobile phones rather than our memories. Even we cannot recall numbers. So I thought that we should purchase books. We should read books as much as possible, because I personally believe the device which was invented to save our time nowadays consuming our time. So to be human, like how we can survive in this world, this book also giving an idea about the strategies which we should follow. One of the strategies is devote your time in study, reading, so that the thinking mind can give direction to people. Because if you are going to categorize the population, you will find that the thinking minds are very, very few. Yeah? The large number of people only follow. So, and I think we are lacking those thinking minds in India. So, we have to promote that. And it's a very interesting field. But it needs full commitment, devotion, hard work, sacrifices also.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering all the questions. Before we end this program today, I would like to ask, give this opportunity to the audience if anyone wants to ask any question. Anyone from the audience?
So, first of all, I would like to congratulate you on authoring this book. I just have heard about this book, but the ideas are really in mind as you want to achieve through this book. And there is no specific question as such, my only wish is that you keep on doing, uniting the young minds, keep on doing the same job for some more time. And this is true that now we are being reduced to subhuman mind. So, as they say, there is a theory of golden billion theory. So, 1 billion people are ruling over 7 billion people. So, this is a reality, and we all must realize in what kind of things we have been trapped. We are being trapped in basically in trash. So, everybody wants those golden billion, as they say, they want to trap the developing world or the underdeveloped world in this trap. And now there is awakening also all across, as I see, even in Africa. So now the 54 countries of Africa, they are also awakening. That they are also awakening from their colonial past. So the Western civilization, first they destroyed and killed the people of North America, South America. They colonized the entire African continent. They destroyed and killed the populations of Australia and New Zealand. They colonized a major portion of Asia as well. Now, when they have accumulated wealth and power, so now they want to teach us the virtues of morality and justice, equality, and liberty, and all those words, fancy words. So, as we have tried to put through this book, that we want to give you back. So, it's a very good effort, and my good wishes to you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
I would like to add one more thing, sir, in response to your feedback, positive feedback, sir. There is one couplet of Allam Akbar कि मेरे अरब को आई ठंडी हवा जहाँ से मेरा वतन नहीं है मेरा वतन नहीं है. So I am basically very proud of being Indian, and I thank Almighty God He basically sent me on this land, which was basically visualized by our beloved Prophet. And there is one scholar who is of the view that if Prophet Muhammad was not going to migrate to Medina, definitely he was going to migrate to India. And still world is having, or mankind is having a hope from India. Because still India has a potential as a country, and people, despite all sort of, you can say, corruption which we are observing around the world, Indian people are still simple. They believe in simple living and high thinking. So I think that to save the mankind, the onus is on our Indian minds, and we should work very hard. Specifically, the bureaucrats should do very, very hard work, and the world is looking at us. Not only world, the God is looking. We need God, but God is also in need of us for executing His plan. So India is a country which can play a very significant role in executing the divine Godhead plan. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Akbar, for joining us, and thank you so much for giving us time at very short notice. And before we